I'm gonna bug weight. The one spot I failed to put mosquito repellent on is where, of course, I'm going to get a mosquito bite. Good thing I bring my bug bite balm with me. Not very sexy, but it'll make the swelling go down. Hello, and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther. Whew. Even though it's not sunny in the garden bed today, it's enough sun that my glasses are tinted. And today I'm going to give you an update on some of my fall garden crops. Today I am starting the process for planting some of my cover crops, the mustard seeds that I bought as a cover crop for my garden to bring some nitrogen up from under the ground and to help fertilize the soil. And you know, it's getting to the end of the garden, and it's funny because although the tomatoes are pretty much over, you know, there's a few tomatoes still ripening, the peppers are still going gangbusters, and I expect to get peppers basically until the first frost. The flowers are also still doing great, and so, you know, I think it's easy that once like some of your crops die to kind of think that it's the end of the season for your summer garden. And really the reality is a lot of those plants still keep going and still produce a lot. Now you want to pull the ones that aren't doing so good and make space for others, of course. But sometimes I find it hard to keep up the momentum, you know what I mean? Because it's not like the promise of harvests and all this stuff is as strong as it was at the beginning of the season. But you know, I enjoy gardening enough that I still want to come out and spend time in my garden and putz around and weed and do other things. So let me show you some of the development. The sunflowers my sister planted are blooming, and they are such a nice welcome to the garden. And this one over here looks kind of more like a light lemonade kind of color one. It's a really pretty one. So I like that we have kind of multiple shades happening. And my Habanero peppers are finally starting to turn colors. Now I need them to be a bright orange before I harvest them, but I'm hoping that in the next video I put out, I can do a taste testing. So Habanero peppers are heatless habanero peppers. And this is one of the peppers I've been anticipating and looking forward to having sort of the most in this garden this year. So here we have Amaranth. So one of the things I want to do this year is harvest Amaranth seeds and try them out. And I've been watching videos on the best time to harvest them. And it seems like there's sort of a delicate balance between you can either let them dry up and fall over, or you can harvest the seeds when they start showing signs of actually having seeds available. So I brought this bucket with me, and I'm putting my hand over it, and immediately seeds are falling out. I mean, like, immediately. So I've decided that I'm gonna cut these different heads and harvest the seeds from them. What I'm probably gonna do is take these home and leave them out to dry until the seeds are fully ready to drop out. I'll probably leave them on a plastic, I'll probably actually leave them in this, just set them out individually. So the seeds are definitely coming out, and I don't want to lose them all to the critters and stuff. So I figure I can let them mature and dry in the house. Well, I didn't bring my scissors. I apparently use them at the house, which happens sometimes. So I'm just going to harvest them using my hori-hori. You know, I'm probably going to go further down the stalk so I can hang them if I choose to do that. Actually, it pops right off. So you can see that when I do this, all those seeds fall to the bottom. So you can see some over here too. Another one of the things I've done since I last showed you a video, and this is actually yesterday I did this, I finally hauled my compost bin thing. This is just a plastic bin that wraps around. You can make it as wide or as and narrow as you want, and I made it real wide. And I had a pile as tall as I am. I had a pile as tall as I am of weeds and other garden waste that that was just kind of going everywhere. And I thought, well, I have enough to actually justify bringing this here. So I brought this here, but I want to show you, even though it's only been maybe a month or two since I started the compost pile, down here, I need to clean it up a little bit more, but down here, there's a nice pile of compost, pretty close to as decomposed as I want it. I'm gonna leave it all winter. I'm probably gonna stir it up and aerate it a little more, maybe add some cardboard, but that gives me really great hope. I know compost will happen regardless of what you do, but it's really nice to see when it actually happens. And I haven't put anything special on this. I've just piled it up as I go, as I'm cleaning, as I'm weeding, just piling it up. I don't know if it's gonna get hot enough to kill the seeds, which is the only thing I'm kind of worried about because of all the weeds. But I guess we'll find out next year, won't we? Definitely gonna leave all of this over the winter as well. I mentioned in the last video that I was going to be doing some cover crops this year. This is a mustard mix I got from True Leaf Market, and I'm going to be putting this, the first 2 rows I think I'm going to do that with. I have some leaf grow I've already put down, that, and you can see this is what the seeds look like. There's probably like close to 1,000 seeds, and there's a lot of seeds. So I'm just going to go through and sprinkle the seeds. I have weeded the area before I put the leaf grow down, and I wanted to make sure the seeds had something that would help keep them moist, last long enough, and also give them some nutrition and medium to grow. And then next I'm going to rake, like lightly rake in the seeds to help flip some of them in. I expect some birds will end up eating some of these seeds, and that's okay as long as it's a nice thick patch. And I can always put more seeds down and maybe cover it with something else to help protect them while they're sprouting if the birds are causing me a problem. I do have some bridal tool left, so I can do that. And then of course the last step is to water in the seeds. Give them a nice good soaking of water. This is water that is rainwater that is collected in a barrel I have in the back of the garden. Last time I checked in, this was just starting to put out a bud, just starting to develop. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. This is a bitter melon. I read that it needs to start getting a little bit of yellow to it, so I think I'm gonna give it another couple days. But I tell you, in just like the last 3 or 4 days, it's grown twice in size, so I need to keep a close eye on it and come out every couple of days to check on it if I'm not here already. And last time I was here, I wasn't sure what this long, what my vining green bean plant was, and I've since found out it's the long beans. Oh, I see 2 squash bugs breeding. Bad, get off my plants. Oh gosh, do I have to kill you on this thing too? Now they've killed off all my squash plants, they're trying to get to my beans. Anyway, so these are long beans. And if I understand correctly, I got them once at an Asian market. If I understand correctly, you eat them without boiling them. You kind of saute them to eat them when you cook them. But isn't this neat? Now, Mr. Squash Bug, you are not allowed on my plant. That is not comforting to know the squash bugs are enjoying these beans. So I'm gonna get enough together. I'm gonna get enough together to do a nice harvest. There we go. I'll get a couple more. Sister and I did plant these late summer, probably in July. So that would explain why we're getting a harvest now. So there we go. Look at these things. What I've read is you don't actually boil these like you would green beans, you saute them. So I have garlic from my garden. My husband doesn't like onions, but I can use onion powder. I have garlic. I can do some Asian spices, maybe a little bit of sesame oil, and saute these up, and oh, they will be so good. I can't wait. Back at the home garden now. These are the radishes that are coming up from my fall crops. These are watermelon radish, which have a really beautiful, like vibrant pink, slight, almost red center. And then in the other section over there, I also am growing beets. They're just starting to sprout, and they are the Badger Flame beets from the Row 7 Seed Company, and I'm really excited because this is a variety I've wanted to grow for a while. It took a little bit of doing to clear that spot because the zinnias had kind of fallen over the side. I don't know if you can see the little fence that I sort of propped the zinnias up against to clear out the space there, just for these 4 rows of beets and radishes. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. Make sure you have alerts set up so you get a heads up when I post new content. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.